Hi, you guys. Welcome to today's analysis session. So we have a lot to go over from last week. Last week was we had a few news events here and there. It was pretty interesting. I had a lot going on personally last week, a lot. But I was able to see some of these moves happen, and gold was really interesting, particularly. Gold was very interesting. I was able to see, some of these moves play out. So we are going to be going over a few pairs, what they did last week, and then we will, if we have time, we'll go over Believe Bigger, one part of it. I'll just open it and show you guys. So first of all, with gold, where were we last week? We can see this, uptrend movement that it did on Thursday. So last week on Wednesday was it on Wednesday evening or Thursday evening? I think it was on Wednesday evening that we had the FOMC chairman speak. That's Jerome Powell. That's the Fed chairman rather. So we had the FOMC minute. What he talked about was that I'm not really paying attention to fundamentals these days, but just an overview of just the things that he was saying is that he was giving a hint that they might be slowing down on interest rates. If you know that we've been, on interest rate hikes and all of those. So quickly, what happened to gold and how did they react? Last week, we were around, here we go, I think. Were we? Okay, this was Friday. All right, so we mentioned that we wait for a pullback on gold, and then I know that I drew this line here, but gold pulled back on Monday, like Sunday evening, for a sell. Ultimately, I was looking for a sell on gold, and that was if we had broken this entire structure, if we had broken and retested this minor support that was here, but we didn't have a break, so we had gold shoot up to this 4-hour supply level, and then at that supply level it reversed. So this wasn't really a convincing break. Plus this now acted like a second trend line bounce for this, so that gave the opportunity to draw this 4-hour blue trend line. So once I did that, it was now a matter of if the price of gold should break this blue trend line, retest it before we go down. And then we had the meeting come up, and at this point I was waiting for I was watching to see if it would come to this 1-hour trend line. Either we have an exhaustion momentum or just something to tell us that gold is going down or going up, right? So we got here and we had this huge exhaustion here. If we go down on a minor structure trend time frame, you'll be able to see a little bit that we had this small. First of all, when the news occurred, this was the first push down, and then we had this huge engulfing candlestick, and it created this and went up to this weekly level. So with gold, what we have is with gold is pretty simple for this week. We kept shooting up with that, which like made the whole trend bullish. Remember, overall, we are bullish on gold. overall we are bullish on gold. So now that we had this impulse move that broke the structure here, we retraced here the last 2 weeks and then we keep moving up. So right now, I'm looking at gold to finish up that impulse move, although you have to be very careful because you know the it's a bullish move, right? That is still on top. You have to wait. That's why on the lower time frame I put this trend line here. So if we have a break and retest of that, or just of this entire zone, we can carry up to that first take profit level for major structure. On Friday, I actually, saw this NFP move. So as you guys know, I don't really trade the news, like trading news, guessing what the news will come out would do. But if you really understand the market, right, I'm just like news will definitely push your price to where it's supposed to be. So all through Friday morning, right, we had all this pullback. Of course, price was going to pull back because Thursday, all it did was push up without retracing, right? Without having like a really good retest. And this is a weekly level. So understanding that your weekly levels are consolidation, meaning that we won't just push away. I was already waiting for price to come back to this level. If we had a valid retest, then I was going to buy. So I wasn't even thinking that, oh, news. I just knew either before the news or after the news or whatever the case is. And what would tell me that I'm going up around here, that it is validated, is all the what happened, weak exhaustion and the bullish momentum. So whilst a lot of people were freaking out about NFP, I feel like this was clear and a lot of people were not really caught off guard. But if you were, or you know people that were, like, it's just a clear as day minor structure move. You had price at resistance. You have price already doing like previous minor structure resistance. You had this minor structure impulse move, and then you had weak exhaustion here, a mini divergence, and you had price come lower. And after your last confirmation would have been like the retest of this supply zone right here, right? And even after this, candlestick variation created, just this one here, actually, that was, I think it was 2:30 Nigerian time, right? So at 2:25 I was in transit, so I wasn't really looking, and I quickly checked on my phone and I was like, oh, okay, so this is gonna drop to here. Like, I just analyzed it. Like, before I even moved, I saw like it was dropping. So the next thing I saw was that I wanted it to do exactly what it did, create this area of confluence inside the course. In the level 4 of the course, I put a confluence list then, and you guys are able to see what I mean when we are looking at areas of confluence. When you just see it, you know that this is what it's going to be. And that's why I had this vast pattern here and it played out to that level. So currently when market opens on tomorrow evening, I'll wait for a pullback, right? Because this is testing this sort of like supply zone over here. So wait for price to break this minor structure supply over here, because this was a huge momentum. But ultimately I'm watching for a buy after we have a valid break and retest of this entire resistance zone. Does that make sense? Does it make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. So with I think so let me go to GU. GU to looks like like it. Oh, I had that going there. All right. Some stuff I just look at, like every night, what I do on Saturdays, I actually do it most times on my own, like on the chart. Yeah, and it's actually in the course assignment that I did. So GU2, how could you have caught the buy move even if you didn't catch the sell move? Like it's literally price coming to retest resistance. Also an area of confluence. I can see three things happening here. You have the monthly level, you have the resistance, and you have a demand zone right there where price came in and pushed up, right? So even if you didn't get this sell that was also at resistance with, let me see, well, so there was no divergence on this, but price was just hitting resistance with an engulfing candlestick and a doji at the end, you know, before that news candle came up. You know, and with the news, you don't have to chase the news. That was literally 120 pips down, and it did 120 pips up. So if you had waited for your setup around here for the buy, right, you could have caught the same amount of pips that went down. Trading is not, you know, as tedious as a lot of people make it seem. Okay. I wanted to go over GJ, right? Not much here, but GJ, you guys know, like for weeks now, we had ended this by, you know, consolidation that we were in. We had that move, and I said that we are not selling this until this breaks and retests the trend line. So let me go on a 1 hour time frame. Oh, for those that are new, don't let my charts hurt your eyes or anything. Like, I don't really delete things just because I want to know where I am in the market. And sometimes I delete when I have to, but not all the time. Okay, so it's just majorly different time frames. So we had a break and a retest of that trend line, but I wanted to make sure that this trend line was really, you know, retesting and not that it was going to continue, it was going to keep going up. Remember, I told you guys a few weeks ago that I'm thinking like it should go to 170, but the structure was telling us 169. Right? So you trade what you see, not what you think. I was thinking, and I mentioned it clearly, that I was thinking 170 was going to be the TP, but the TP here was around 168.4, and price got there, went a little over it, and then that was where it started its drop from. So we had a retest of that trend line, but if you wanted to be sure again, as you can see my red, yellow, and green box, which is the break of that zone and the retest of that zone, entry would have been around here after your lower time frame candlestick variation. And then they're taking it down. Price came back here again, retested it. The main one that I saw on Friday, what happened was on Thursday evening rather, while I was doing an analysis, I saw this at this third trend line bounce. So your trend line is validated by 2 touches. So once it came here and it gave exhaustion, right? If I go on the lower time frame, I see like it did exhaustion around here. And once you had that engulfing candlesticks telling you that it is respecting that area because that is an area of resistance, then you can take that sell. Currently with GJ, I'm watching for this to go down ultimately, but I have to be careful if this minor structure move will not finish first. So what do I mean by that? When the news came out, it gave a lot of bullish momentum around here, right? So I want to make sure that this is not what price will do. Or let me just start my impulse here. Right? If it's not going to come back to that trend line or around this zone, to test all this area before actually dropping. So if we are going to keep going up or continue our downward, I'll actually wait a little bit on GJ to give me more confirmation, probably after the market opens like in the night. Then the last one I'll check right now is GJ and EJ. Let me see. Last one I'll check is UCAD. Okay, so I marked this up last night. Okay, so same thing. This could easily go up around here before coming down, but ultimately I'm watching for it to continue its downtrend. You know, if you can look at this Euro JPY, we've been also dropping, and where you could have cut this down was a retest of that 1 hour zone, which was also around a daily trend line. Purple is my daily trend line, and we had another minor structure retest. So it's based on this retest that I have this bars pattern going down that if we respect this area, we are coming down. So this is a 4 hour zone, so we can have price come back there to retest that area, respect it, and all of that. So it's just a matter of waiting for extra confirmation. We already have the direction, so we just wait for confirmation and not hop in. And you guys know with interest rates, we've talked about it over and over and over again. With interest rates, when they increase interest rates, it is bullish for the dollar and then bearish for stocks, which is your NAS and your US 30. When the interest rates go low, it is bearish for the dollar and then bullish for stocks. That's why on Wednesday evening, when the Fed chairman announced that it caused NASDAQ and US 30 to spike up like that and the dollar to go down. Okay, so this changes everything. Interest rate is the most powerful, like one of the major tools that causes direction in the market. So you use your technical analysis to get your entries and everything. You can definitely trade technical analysis without fundamentals, but understanding that, okay, they are doing this in fundamentals, it will give you more confidence to stay in trades longer, to swing, to just do all of those things. You don't use fundamentals to enter trades. If not, it's going to trick you. Like NFP that played out. NFP played out. This was the move for NFP for NASDAQ. It dropped, right? But it was just a pullback and to ease off all of this bullishness, right? You know, you had other confirmations to tell you that this was going to drop. So I wanted to look at USD CAD because I had this trade on last week and it played out. I was looking at a buy for this. This was the entire move here. Okay, so I was waiting. I think when price opened, it was around here. No, we're around here because we're retesting a level of resistance here. So we got the exhaustion that we needed, and we had the double retest with divergence. Let me be sure it's divergence. Okay. Okay, no, it wasn't divergence because divergence is when two things are doing the opposite, right? When RSI and price is doing the opposite. But I think it was around here. Yes, I put it on an account for a buy, and this did 110 pips. That's what I got out of it. My ultimate it ultimately did 220, but you know, so you know, yeah, I was looking at it to come to this 4 hour trend line. And after that, I wasn't really paying attention. If not, that sell would have been a good catch from when the USD started dropping. Okay, so you can see that right now, price, it broke the 4 hour trend line. Now it retested it, giving exhaustion. and we are looking for this to go down, actually, ultimately, selling all of this. Once we have confirmation, so first of all, to this support, minor support area, or demand zone, then yeah, I'll wait for confirmation. So because of news, like we'll just wait when market opens and just see. Maybe on Tuesday, Monday evening, we'll get a few confirmation once it has done multiple retests. Do you have any question? You guys have any questions? Yeah. Okay, so I mentioned earlier that we're going to. What did you say?
No, we don't. I totally get everything explained. Thank you, but
Oh, okay, great. Oh, Gift is joining in now. Oh, okay. I'll tell him I'm proud of him once he gets in. But I want to just go over a few lines of this, honestly, because I have to go into another meeting for 9:30 by 9:30. So it says that you are capable. You know, a lot of people think that trading is just easy, or some people have realized like it is hard after all the praise that IML did and everything, right? But it has to do majorly with you. Okay, so you need to believe that you can do this. So that's what you're capable of talking about. And the scripture that is there is Philippians 4 verse 13. Okay, you guys can really see it. But let me read. Okay, so it says our trust in God is somehow separate from our belief in ourselves. To the contrary, divine trust and self-belief are linked together by the umbilical cord of purpose. We cannot fulfill our destiny merely with one or the other. We need both. We need a healthy and hearty self-image to even have the audacity to pursue all that God has in store for us. Notice that I didn't say we need a strong self-image to believe in God. You know, I meet women and men, that's the author, every day who love God, but they don't really like themselves. The truth be told, most of us spend an inordinate amount of time to trying to fix our faults or find a way to simply live with ourselves. Well, we've discovered this, that if you don't learn to celebrate yourself, you will settle for a life where you will simply tolerate yourself. And that is not God's vision for you. You are his son, you are his daughter, and you are his custom creation. And he desires that you love who you are and you grow to operate in the supernatural courage using the gifts, the personality, and the intellect that he gave you. And the question to think of is, how has self-doubt been holding you back? And what is God's new story that is inviting you to write that comes to view of yourself? So honestly, majority of these things that I read, it's kind of talking to me because I kind of told you guys that, you know, I'm in a season that is seasoning. The season is seasoning and it's hot, okay? It's pepper. You know what pepper does? So like that piece is just encouraging us to believe in ourselves. God, if you're a Christian, you understand that Jesus came on earth to give us access to the Father. So you know, even if you find it hard to believe in yourself, you believe in God, which is the same thing because he lives in you, literally. So he's there walking, moving once you give him access. So if you don't think you can do it, believe that God can, and you begin to develop yourself in that way. And you begin to use your gifts, because I definitely believe that every single person has something, has a purpose, has a reason why they're here. You guys are like a direct intention of God's idea, a particular idea that God wanted to, you know, pass across to earth. was why you were created, and he thought that, okay, you will be the best candidate to do this thing. Okay, so working in purpose is not just something that, oh, it's not just a futuristic thing. It's something that you have to start doing now, and you need to believe in yourself, especially since you're a day trader. You don't know what's going to happen next. Like, the markets are literally playing out every day. It's unfolding. It's based on the knowledge that you have, the skill that you have, what you've learned, that you are now looking at the market and trying to determine where next to go in order to earn your next dollar. Okay, so if you don't believe and trust everything that you have learned, right? And it took me a while too to trust that, like, this thing is clear as day. 1 + 1 is 2. If this says this and that says this, I just have to believe that what I'm seeing is correct. And if you miss a step, you go back to retrace and backtest why you missed the step in the first place. And especially with trading, a lot of us have been hurt before because we've made terrible decisions at some point or the other. Maybe, oh, you shouldn't have over leveraged, or you shouldn't have been in that trade, or you even missed the trade. Let's say the best trade, maybe you got the best entry. Like, for example, the gold trade that we were analyzing like a month ago, I didn't take that trade, but it's still the buy that is still continuing. If you really look at it, that was a buy trade that did over 1,000 pips in 2 weeks. Okay, and we were looking at that trade, and I actually got the entry, but I just, left it because, I have to look at other things, right? So even missing those opportunities, you might not be able to trust yourself to move forward again in another thing, but you really have to trust yourself, because that's how you're going to move forward. And if you don't have the capacity to trust yourself right now, like when I was believing God for the impossible, right? I'm just like, God has a better track record, so I'm just going to lean on him, trust him, and he's going to deliver. And he delivered. So you have to build that confidence, especially with trading. You have to, going into this new week, you have to be confident in your analysis. If you analyze something, you watch it and just trust that it's going to play out. And if it goes the other way, you watch what you did wrong and do it all over again till you hit it back to back to back to back, because it plays out, it works. Once you get it, it works. I literally did that GJ. I was at my mom's place and I was showing, my brothers, like, okay, so this is what I'm expecting the next this thing. And just literally the morning after, it played out like that. And they were just like, why you just put that bus pattern there? And I'm like, yeah, because that's what it's going to do, because I just know and I've seen it. Okay, so you have to trust in yourself. All right. So I wanted to tell Gift that I'm proud of him, because he sent me that he had his first bus pattern like play out. Gift has always been hesitant to use that bus pattern because it's like magic. The bus pattern is exactly what I use here. Right, so you just go to this area and search for bus pattern and look at the one that, I teach it in the course on how to look at it, but really it's just you training your eyes to see something that is similar to what you're seeing. I just put it there for projection. It is not a guessing game. It is not a guessing game. It's nothing. The bus pattern is not a strategy. It is just for personal confidence or projection. Just thinking like, oh, my projection level hit. Like, I got that, it just helps with your confidence. So that's it, guys. That's all for tonight. I wish you guys a very strong trading week. I have a feeling it's going to be good. Just make sure you do everything you need to do. And yeah, may the pips be with us. Good night.
Yeah, good night. Thank you very much.
Good night, ma'am.